only to be delivered to the men who worship the blade? What life awaits in this lightless world that could be worse than a public end? The arena promised a quick death. These tunnels offer none. We are venturing into a darkness others are afraid to see. Subscribe to walk this path with us. Hit the bell. Let it be your signal when we unseal the next forbidden chapter. And now, back to the story. The sound of the arena crowd fades, replaced by a new rhythm. The thud of a wooden rudis striking a post, the scrape of a grindstone on steel, the guttural shouts of trainers. They are marched from the damp tunnels into the cold, open air of a courtyard. This is the Ludus, the gladiator school, a fortress of discipline and death. The captive women are pushed into a stone cell, the floor wet. They wait for hours in the dark. The cold seeps in, a stark contrast to the arena's heat. Finally, the door opens. A man enters, not a soldier, but an administrator, the Lanista's bookkeeper. He carries a wax tablet and a stylus. He holds a lantern high, his face etched in shadow. He does not ask their names. He smells of sour wine and ink. He walks the line, inspecting them like livestock. He grabs one woman's chin, forcing her mouth open to check her teeth. He points. 1. He moves to the next. 2. He is taking inventory. The woman with the river stone keeps her head down, but her eyes are clear. She watches the man's hands. She watches the 2 guards at the door. She counts the paces of the cell. As the man approaches, she shifts the cold stone from her fist into the rags of her waistband. A small, hidden weight. He stops at her. He looks at her, not her face, but her hands, her shoulders, her height. He assesses her strength. He makes a sharp, coded mark on the wax tablet. He does the same to 3 others. The rest of the women are chained together in a line. The man jerks his thumb toward the door. The guards herd them out, back toward the tunnels. Their fate is the public market, the sulfur mines, or the lupanares, the brothels built into the arena's foundations. But separation was not mercy. It was selection. The woman with the stone and the other chosen few remain. They have been spared the market, the door bolts. They are alone again, but their status has changed. Hours later, an older, scarred servant enters. He carries no weapons, only a stack of rough, dun-colored tunics. He throws them on the floor. He says nothing, just points. They are to change. This is the price of their mercy. They are not destined for public sale. They now belong to the Ludus itself. They will wash the fighters' bloody gear. They will clean the cells. They will serve the prima spada, the champion gladiators. They are no longer people. They are tools, privileges, comforts meant to keep the Ludus's most valuable, volatile assets manageable. The woman pulls the rough wool over her head. It smells of lye and old sweat. The stone is a cold knot against her stomach. She has been saved from the public hell, only to be locked inside a private one. They were not prisoners of Rome. They were prizes for Rome's prisoners. The Ludus is a machine, and the Lanista is its engineer. He is the owner, trainer, and master. He summons the chosen women, not to the cells, but to his private office. It smells of cedar, wax, and oiled leather. He is a man of precise, cold calculation. He does not shout. He explains. You are not servants, he states, looking at a ledger. Servants are cheap. You are investments. He explains the condition. The Ludus is a powder keg. His champions, the primi pali, are worth more than a senator's villa. They are violent, unstable, and superstitious. They need stabilizing influences. The women are to be given as contubernia, official companions or barracks wives. This is the ultimate mercy he offered. They will share the champion's private quarters, their food, their status. They will be protected. They will be safe from the guards, the lower-ranked fighters, and the market. This is the hidden price. They will no longer be Dacian. They will be the property of a single man, a living reward to ensure his loyalty, to keep his mind off rebellion and focused on the sand. The Lanista singles out the woman with the river stone. Her defiance is a tangible thing in the room. You, he says, are for Vindex, the Gaul, our champion. It is a great honor. He has asked for you. She stands still. The room is silent save for the scrape of his stylus. She looks past the Lanista, at the wall, at the map of the empire. Her home is a smear of ink in the corner. She speaks. Her voice is a dry rasp. I serve no one. The Lanista does not get angry. He leans back. Serve? No, you will belong, or you will be forgotten. The escalation begins. It is not violent. It is administrative. She is not beaten. She is moved. The other women, heads bowed, accept the tunics, the oils, the braids. They are led to the champion's wing. The Dacian woman is taken to the cella austeari, the gatekeeper's box. It is a stone niche carved into the main entrance of the Ludus. It is not a dungeon cell. It is a display case. The soft pressure, deprivation. She is given water and just enough stale bread to survive. The gate is a constant thunder of iron and wood. Guards march past. Fighters, slick with sweat and blood from practice, stream by, ignoring her. She is in the center of the world, yet utterly alone. They intended this to break her, to force her to see the comforts the other women now have, the warm food, the clean rooms, the protection of their masters. She is visible to all, yet seen by none. The deprivation hardens. The bread becomes less frequent. The nights are ice. The Lanista intended the solitude and the public shame to erode her will. He miscalculated. He did not understand her. The cell was stone. Her homeland was stone. The hunger was a fast. Her people fasted. The silence was a vow. The Lanista thought he was locking her in a prison. Instead, he had given her a temple. The cold, smooth river stone in her hand is her only scripture. The isolation that was meant to be her punishment becomes her armor. She is no longer just a captive. She is a witness. The why was now clear. The women were not just bodies. They were psychological tools, human shields against the gladiator's own rage. The price of their mercy was their soul. But the price of refusal was not death. It was erasure. The champion Vindex walks past her cell every day. He stops. He watches her through the bars. She watches him back. She has refused the master, but what happens when the monster decides he will not be refused? The Gaul, Vindex, stops at her cell. He does this every evening, a massive scarred silhouette against the torchlight. The guards stay clear. He is the Ludus's greatest asset. One night, he does not just look. He speaks to the gatekeeper. A key grinds in the lock. She stands. The stone is a cold weight in her hand. This is it. The end. He does not lead her to his quarters. He doesn't touch her. He gestures with his head, a silent command. Walk. He leads her away from the polished champion's wing, past the roaring forge of the armory. He takes her deep into the foundations of the Ludus, to a subterranean storage cellar. It smells of damp earth, old wine, and mold. It is lit by a single guttering oil lamp. He is not a monster. He is a man who, like her, has had his name stolen and replaced with one that means champion. He walks to the far wall, a section of rough, unmortared stone. He levers a large, flat rock from its place. Behind it is a dark, hollow cavity. This wasn't just a place to hide wine. This was a library of the lost. Inside, resting on a bed of dry moss, are dozens of small, humble objects. A piece of wood carved into the shape of a boar, a braided loop of bright horsehair, a tarnished silver disc marked with a crescent, a shard of blue glass worn smooth by a foreign sea. Vindex reaches in and touches the small boar. He looks at her. He cannot speak her language. He does not need to. This is the wordless rite. This is where we remember. The hidden truth was not one of violence, but of conspiracy. The Lanista thought he managed his fighters with rewards. But the fighters and the captive women assigned to them were building a silent, invisible world beneath his feet. They were not master and slave. They were fellow prisoners, preserving the names and gods that Rome had tried to grind into dust. Archaeological finds confirm this. In 2003, an excavation beneath the gladiator barracks at Carnuntum, Austria, uncovered small, hidden caches within the walls of the living quarters, spaces just large enough for personal, non-Roman items, concealed from official view. The Dacian woman looks at the collection. She sees the river stone in her own palm. It is not just her ballast anymore. It is a word, a name. She steps forward. Vindex watches as she places her stone into the hollow, setting it carefully between the Thracian disc and the Gallic boar. He slides the heavy rock back into place. The wall is seamless. Her identity is safe. She has been locked in a cell to be forgotten. But in the deepest dark, she has finally been seen. They had found a way to save their souls. But what good was a soul when the body was still in the cage? The Ludus was a business. And like any Roman business, it ran on records. Wax tablets for the daily schedule, papyrus ledgers for the profit and loss. We have surviving lists of fighters, the later Culi, detailing their victories, their specialties, the price of their feed, and the cost of their medical care. History is written in this ink, but it is also written in the gaps, the places where the ink suddenly stops. In the Lanista's private ledger, the entry for Vindex, the Gaul, is clean. A string of victories noted in precise red ink. Then, nothing. The line is blank. There is no record of a final match in the arena. No note of sale to another Ludus. No mention of a burial plot. It is a calculated void. It is as if the ink itself was forbidden. And the Dacian woman? She was never given a name in the books at all. She was just a number, a logistical asset tied to the champion's morale. When he vanished from the ledger, she vanished with him. The cella ostiari, the gatekeeper's cell, is simply listed as empty, ready for sanitation. This is the second death. The cold, administrative erasure. There are no first-hand accounts from the barracks. The voices of the captives and the champions are silent. There are only whispers found in the margins of other, more important histories. A single, fragmented letter from a wine merchant visiting the Ludus mentions significant trouble with the Gallic champion, and a subsequent costly purging of the barracks inventory. But the details are lost. The papyrus is torn. The Lanista's response is unrecorded. The official narrative holds. The subterranean cellar, the one used as a hidden shrine, it does not appear on any known floor plan. It was likely deemed structurally unsound or simply inconvenient during the barracks' next renovation. It was filled with rubble, lime, and sand, and sealed. A new floor of concrete and tile was laid on top, a clean, practical surface for a new generation of fighters. Buried beneath it, the carved boar,